Morning, boys. It's Tuesday, and thought I'd get out a quick video to you today. We sent videos last week that had to do with kind of our linebacker basics, especially in coverage. If you haven't seen those, go watch those. And today we're going to put up a little something different. Want to talk about we're sitting at home. I'm definitely having this issue, and I'm sure you're having to think about it as well too. But our nutrition and what we're putting in our bodies. So I've got a great little PDF PowerPoint here talking about fueling the athlete, and this comes from some experts at the Ben Hogan Sports Medicine Facility in Dallas. And so wanted to kind of just go over it a little bit and make sure you're paying attention to it. And when the every 2 weeks comes about and your family makes that run to the grocery store, maybe you can make some recommendations to make sure that you're taking care of your nutrition properly. Really important for you because you've got a growing body and you're needing to eat healthy stuff. So some of the suggestions, first of all, is your frequency is you're better to eat smaller meals and more meals over the day. Okay. And that, there's three main nutrient groups, right? Carbohydrates, protein, and fats. And you want to eat those in a certain percentage and make sure that you're hitting the right things correctly. So the first one you get is carbohydrates. And, those are where your body gets energy from. Okay. And so there's a lot of different kinds of things that you can get for that. That's like whole grains and wheat products. So those are really important versus like white flour and white bread type things to get whole grain. Fruits, vegetables, dairy products are all good. Sports drinks and gels and goos, those are okay. I'm not as big a fan of those as some people. I think they've got too much sugar. I think you got to really watch the sugar intake in a lot of things like that. But fruits, vegetables, dairy products, whole grains are really important. And then you'll see there on the slide, it shows you some pictures: bananas, a bowl of fruit, oatmeal, pastas, baked potatoes are great. All those kinds of things, right? So think about some of that kind of stuff. Something that we do in our house a lot is like for potatoes or sweet potatoes. Cereal is great. Oatmeal, brown rice. Okay, so don't do like a white rice, do a brown rice. And sometimes these things take a little getting used to now. I used to be a fan of white rice. We've moved to brown rice. In the first couple of times, you got to get kind of used to it, but I think after a while you get used to that. So carbohydrates in your body, that's where you get your main energy source. Your body breaks that carbohydrate down and gives you energy. Next is your protein. And proteins actually go in to build your muscle and repair the body. Okay. And in this time in age 2, protein's important because it's an immunity booster. So definitely for young guys like you, protein is a huge deal. So we want to eat good kinds of meat and stay away from the bad types of meat. So a good meats and protein sense is like a lean meat like chicken, turkey, ham, lean red meat, not the one with all the white fat. I know that tastes wonderful. Coach Kilcoyne loves a ribeye, but you're better off with like a flank steak instead, which is a lot leaner red meat. Or away from beef and go to like buffalo or reindeer or any kind of a venison is a leaner red meat. Fish is amazing for you. Any kind of a fish or tuna, anything like that, it's really good as well too as a lean option. Eggs and egg whites. At your age, I wouldn't worry about taking the yolk out necessarily. That's pretty good stuff for you. At your age, my age, you got to worry a little bit more about cholesterol. And so you tend to take the egg yolk out and just do the egg whites. Low-fat dairy options: milk, cheese, yogurt, cottage cheese. You can do the low-fat. I'm not a big proponent of the low-fat. I don't necessarily subscribe to low-fat as the answer to everything. If you look at like the Mediterranean type diets of the world, they're pretty high in fats, but it's the right kind of fats. So milk, cheese, yogurt is all good stuff for you. So whether that's just the original stuff or the low-fat, either one, you make the choice there. A whey protein powder in your shake. I think that's super important if you can do that kind of stuff. And then for protein, a great source of protein, little snacks, nuts, seeds, peanut butters, and then beans. And especially when you mix beans and rice together, that creates and unlocks that protein in the bean real well. So a bean with a rice mixed together, kind of like something you get maybe at Chipotle or something like that, is really good for you there. And so that's to help you build all that kind of good muscle and everything like that. And then the other of three is the fat, is saturated fats or bad fats, right? Like fried food, pastries, baked goods, creamy foods. Okay, so you don't want saturated fat. You'd rather get unsaturated fats, right? Which come from like peanut butter, almond butter, nuts and seeds, olive oil, avocados, and then the fat that's like in fish or salmon. You know, if you see fish and salmon, they're a little oily. That's the fat in them, but that's the good fat. And then remember that you get some fat out of your meat that you're eating and your protein or your eggs or your dairy products and stuff like that. So you have to kind of consider that too. Your protein usually has a component of fat to it too. So you don't want to be doing too much of that. Okay. So then going through here, it's got some starting the days right with a breakfast. I believe that's totally important. That is, you know, everybody says the most important meal of the day. Well, it's getting you up and it's kicking your metabolism. And so you need to make sure that you're putting something solid in your body to eat, right? And so there's some quick options for starting the day with breakfast. And then they got some fueling snacks listed here as well too. Give you some ideas on some fueling snacks. Talks about going to some convenience stores. What convenience stores? And little quick snacks for them to have. Okay. Another great thing is hydrate. Hydrate. And hydrate really works this way. The best hydrator is actually milk, if you can believe that or not. And then it goes milk, then water, and then it kind of works its way down. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of sports drinks. Yeah, they do all right, and I get all the electrolyte stuff and all that, but it has a ton of sugar in it, okay? And so you got to kind of weigh that out. So don't be drinking just Gatorades all day long and just say, well, I'm hydrating. There's some negatives to that. The best thing is like milk and or water, you know, and be sure that you're kind of putting that in, right? So it talks about your pre-exercise, how much fluid you should be taking in during your exercise, how much fluid you should be taking in, and then afterwards, because as you work out, you're losing that fluid. You need to put it back in. Your body's 70% water, right? So you've got to get that in. You're constantly losing it. And so you got to put that back in, okay? Talks a bit about cramping, if that's an issue for you, what you can do. Then it talks about some pre-exercise meal timing, when you should eat the meal. And it kind of depends whether it's a large or small meal, when you should do that before your workout. And then talks about other aspects of eating before workouts. And then after your workout, what kind of things should you be eating? So then it gives you like a sample morning routine of when to eat, afternoon, workout day, eating routine. And then at the bottom gives you some weight gaining tips. If you're wanting to gain some weight, be careful with that. You always want to put on good weight, not bad weight. Don't be over concerned about that. You're at an age where 15 to 18-year-old young men, they're going to naturally do what their body wants to do. So be less worried about gaining or losing weight, and instead eat right and do lots of exercise and activity, and your body will handle the rest of that. It got a little slide here. Then the next one, a high-calorie food exchanges. Instead of eating bread, choose this, right? Like bagels. Instead of eating toast, eat waffles. Instead of eating cereal, eat granola. So take a look at that. Few more weight gain and loss ideas. Again, something I don't think you need to be so worried about. And then it talks about supplements, right? And what supplements you should choose if you're choosing to do supplements. Again, you're a young man, just eat good solid foods and your body will take care of the rest, right? Supplements, I only think, start to begin to help when you're kind of done with that growing time in your life, but yet you're still needing to maintain or maybe even gain muscle weight or things like that. Then I think it helps out more. So anyways, take a look at that. Pay attention to that stuff, and maybe you see a few things on there that you're like, man, I need to be doing more of that. And then talk to your family about that. And when you guys go to the grocery store, see if you can get some of that stuff and stay healthy. I hope you're doing well out there. Stay healthy, stay strong. Keep doing the workouts, keep doing the running, do whatever you can. Get outside, get this sun in you. I hope we see each other soon. If you need anything, give me a text, give me a call, drop me an email. Until then, we'll talk to you soon. Go Chargers.